You do not own your own home, and you never will. How can I make such a strong statement? Because of property tax. Before we can even get to a discussion of, is property tax good? Is it bad? Should we raise rates? Should we lower them? We have to talk about what property tax actually does. And what it does is make you a tenant, not an owner. Don't believe me? Try not paying your property taxes for a few years. The local government will come in and place a lien on your home, or they can even take it away from you and kick you out. Does that sound like something you own? Say you went to Target and you bought a blender, and just for argument's sake, we'll say you paid a sales tax on it. You took the blender home and you used it. You don't pay anything more on it because you own it. Now say you paid for that blender at Target, and then you have to pay a yearly fee, or someone comes and takes your blender away. You would know right away that you don't own that blender. You're just renting it. That's the same thing property tax does on your home. You don't own it. You're just renting it. I know there are a lot of proponents for property tax, and there's just as many people who really want to get rid of property tax. What I'm looking for is for us to have an honest discussion of what property tax actually is and how it affects our property rights.
Ed Turner has been saying the same thing for the past 4.5 years.
My name is Ed Turner,
Ed, how you
and
doing?
I'm looking for work.
Anthony, nice.
He's at a job fair in the Denver suburbs, but after such a long stretch without a permanent job in his field, he doesn't have high hopes.
You get told no so often that it's kind of why go there because I know I'm going to hear no.
Financially, it's been devastating for his family.
We have had to declare bankruptcy. We lost our home.
And I was a quality control manager at Samsung.
And the cost is emotional, too.
Over time, you become depressed, and your feeling of self-worth is wrapped up in that.
This City Resource Center helps match the unemployed with employers.
This truly is our basic core level service, and it will take you 5 to 10 minutes to create your profile.
But officials here admit that in a tight jobs market, older applicants are at a disadvantage.
We do see that older worker population coming in and finding a little more difficulty than you would at 25 or 35 or even 45.
Long months of unemployment lead many people to seek positions way below their skill level.
At this point, I'm a banquet server and a bartender doing that. I also have 2 master's degrees and I'm licensed as a banker. But in this economy, I'm really glad to make tips.
The financial troubles the country is going through began when the housing bubble burst, and that market has yet to recover. A report out today says nearly 213,000 homeowners got foreclosure notices just in July. Nevada is ground zero for the housing crisis, and we asked Bill Whitaker to show us what happens when families there can no longer pay the mortgage or the rent.
Constable's office.
It's a scene repeated again and again, day after day across Las Vegas.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Why didn't you open the door?
I just came downstairs right now.
Okay, well, we knocked on the door a little while ago.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear.
Right.
2 deputies from the Las Vegas Township Constable's office enforcing a judge's order on a foreclosed home.
We're doing a serve and eviction on you. You have to change clothes, stuff like that, and take off in about 15 minutes.
Well, I have my son upstairs and he's sleeping right
Okay,
now.
so you need to wake him up.
The young couple and their son have only the time it takes a locksmith to change the locks, 10, maybe 15 minutes, to grab what they can. They lost the house after falling behind on their payments. Now they'll have to make arrangements with the new owner, a bank, to come back later for the rest of their belongings.
So for this week's What Wednesday question, we're going to talk about how long did it take you to downsize from a house to an RV?
What?
So short answer, if you got 10 seconds, it took us a year. Long answer of why it took us a year, and how I think for a lot of people it take a year. It was that gradual mindset change of having a 4-bedroom, 1,800 square foot house that we had to get down to, 300 square feet. It takes a while to get there.
The biggest challenge for me was clothing. I had tons and tons of clothes, and clothes that I hadn't worn in a while that I was hanging on to, and I even had one of our rooms as a closet.
And it had a closet within the room, so the closet had clothes in it, and then we had racks set up all the way around the room for clothes in that room. And we still had a closet in our bedroom.
Okay.
And we had a closet one. Okay. We had some clothes.
I enjoy clothes. I love them. It was really, really hard for me to, obviously I was not able to have rooms of clothes and tons of closets when we moved into an RV. And I hear from people a lot that they don't feel like they could do this because they wouldn't have closet space, and I get that. Like, that was really, really hard for me. To be honest, that was probably my biggest stress of downsizing. So where do you even start? For us, what we did was we created a room that was dedicated to sorting our stuff. So over this course of time, we would take things in. We had a donate pile, a sell pile, and I have no idea what to do with this pile. We made multiple trips to donation services around town, giving stuff away. We tried to sell some of the bigger items that we could use to put towards our RV, and then the stuff that we had no idea what to do, eventually when that goes untouched for a while, that essentially becomes donation stuff as well, because if it's been sitting there and you don't have any use for it, then you probably don't need it. But if you go back to it and which I never did. I don't think I ever went back to anything. Then, you know, that was kind of how we worked through downsizing our stuff.
Downsizing is it's mental. It just really is. It's figuring out what you have this mental attachment to, and then figuring out how to kind of separate yourself from those things so that you can exchange it for experiences.
I had to learn to do what's called a capsule wardrobe. So I have a few number of pieces that can mix and match together. I feel like if you get a few different pieces that make you happy, I really haven't missed that other stuff. I didn't really enjoy having all those clothes anyway. I guess I thought that I did, but once I don't have them anymore, I'm really not worried about it. I had tons of t-shirts that were from my basketball career that I loved, and so I had them made into a blanket and a quilt. So I just had to separate myself a little bit and know that this experience would be way more important to me than my clothing. We had a lot of kitchen stuff too. That was hard, downsizing your kitchen things. But when you have a small space and a small kitchen, I really couldn't use all of that anyway. I don't know why that was so difficult for me, but
Hensley's stuff was hard too.
Oh yeah.
We you know, we knew she enjoyed some things. We had to pick out. Everything was good, but we had to figure out what was best for her and what would fit in a small space. I think a part of the process is slowly pushing yourself to a smaller space. So we took one of our rooms and turned that into this room where our stuff went. So that took away one of our rooms and gave us smaller space in our house. And we also we actually bought our first RV, a travel trailer, while we had the house. And so that gave us an idea, which I think had no storage at all. No. But it kind of like opened our eyes to, wow.
We got a lot to get rid of.
We got to get, so yeah, you don't want to like sell your house and then start downsizing when you got, you know, 2 weeks to get out of your house and you're getting into an RV.
We also like had to downsize our life, not just our stuff, but the way we lived, our jobs.
Family too, and friends. I think when we first told people what we're doing, they thought we were crazy.
Yeah, they didn't understand it all.
So it takes a year almost for us mentally and then mentally to sort of understand, you know, even get a grasp on what's going on and what we're doing. We were downsizing and moving to an RV, but you know, just downsizing in general is just an awesome experience. The less stuff you have, the less time and energy you have to spend into keeping those things clean and working and organized. The best way to organize is to eliminate. It really is.
I've heard that a lot.
From where?
I get told that probably once a day. It's a continual process. It's not like when I'm done, when I move into this RV or if I downsize my house, it's gonna be over. Things start adding up. That's how we got in this mess to start with of too much stuff. So just keep that in mind, that it's an everyday skill that you have to acquire.
So it took us a year. It might take you 3, it might take you 6 months, or you may just want to downsize just where you're currently at so that you can get to the stuff you really love the most. It's a great thing to do in your life. If you got any more questions, comments, feel free to let us know, and we'll catch you guys next time.